Good afternoon, everyone. I am Li Xing Gan, Financial Market Strategist Consultant to Exness, and this is your market outlook for the 5th of December 2024. So for today, we will highlight key levels on USTEC, going through it from a technical perspective and combining analysis across different time frames. So with that, right, I'm currently on the Exness web terminal, and this is USTEC on the daily time frame. So on the daily, we can see that prices are holding above the ascending trend line. It's a level that has been tested multiple times. You can see this region, and we're also seeing that bullish market structure in play in the forms of higher lows and higher highs. Now, what's notable with this is that with the most recent push, price broke above the last swing high that we had that was formed back on 11th of November. So you can see that this region, price broke above the 21,200 threshold, and we're seeing a strong close above this zone. In terms of the indicators, we see that prices are also holding above both EMAs. The green one being EMA 21, the shorter term moving average, and the red one is EMA 78, which represents a longer term period. So you can see that there is a widening gap between both EMAs as well as price, which means or rather highlights the bullish momentum that prices are currently facing. So right now, in terms of the resistance level, for me, the first resistance would be a projection of this zigzag pattern. You can see this area over here. So I'm going to use the turning points to project the Fibonacci extension. So in order to do that, what I will do is to take the Fibonacci extension, which is basically this icon in the third category, right? So the trend-based Fib extension, and I'm just going to project the turning point. This is the first point, the second point, and the third point, right? And you can see the 100% extension lies in at about 21,700 level. This region, it's still slightly above the current price level at about 21,500. So for me, this is the first potential resistance that price could push towards. And this 100% extension essentially means that the extent of the rally that we observe, right, from the 1st of November all the way to the 11th of November, the magnitude of this move, right, is equivalent, right, when we extend, or rather when we add the magnitude from the dip, so from 18 November onwards. So essentially this means that this push that we have to the upside, right, if we're to project it, the 100% extension, the magnitude of these two pink drawings, right, would be similar. So the 100% extension would be the first resistance level for me. And if you take a look at it in terms of the resistance level, this is at about the 21,700 level. This is the first region. And beyond that, I think that price could continue to rise further. The next potential level is the 127.2%. Right, so lying slightly above it at about the 22,000 level, this region over here. Again, this is a projection using the same Fibonacci extension that we have taken earlier, that zigzag pattern that we've taken earlier. Okay, so what's 22,000. Right, so another thing I think that's worth watching, or rather exploring, right, it's whether we have a Fibonacci retracement at this level. So generally, right, we can see that the 78.6 and 61.8 Fibonacci retracements are levels that price could push towards. So in this example, what happened following that price retreat, you can see that price pushes back into this ascending trend line as well as the 61.8 retracement. It's also interesting because if you take a look at what we have on the left, this level, it's in line with that level of consolidation before we saw a strong break to the upside. Right, so this level over here at about the 20,500 zone aligns with not just the support zone, the ascending trend line, EMAs, of course, you can see the EMA 78 being a potential dynamic support, and also the Fibonacci retracement. Right, so in that regard, right, when we take a look at this, right, if price does bounces above it, I can also use the negative 27 and negative 61.8 as potential projections. And in this case, you can see that both levels, right, would be very similar, or lies very closely to that zone that we've identified as resistance, which is the first one is at 21,700 level, and the second level is at the 22,000 level. So both of these regions over here. So this is on the daily time frame, right? But it's worth noting that with regards to the most recent price movement, right, still in its bullish momentum, right? There are no signs of reversals, at least not on the daily. Now, if you move down to the 4 hours time frame, you can see on the 4 hours, just looking at recent price movement, we can see prices are still forming higher lows and higher highs. If we take a look at this price action over here, we are seeing that right on the 4 hours. If you just take a look at the candles movements, you can see that the subsequent candles are always higher than the previous candles, and also prices are still holding above both EMAs. So for me, at least on the 4 hours time frame, is still bullish, right? So if price does push to this resistance level, there are two scenarios, right? One is that it could just continue its upward momentum, forming higher lows and higher highs, breaking the zone altogether. Of course, from a fundamental perspective, right, this could also be a seasonal pattern that we observe, right? In December, the Santa rally, right, where generally stocks perform well and US stocks perform well in December. It could also be attributed to the resilience that we're seeing in the US economy and also anticipation for Fed rate cut, right? So all of this, it's like fueling that move to the upside. Strong corporate earnings as well, right? That's also coming through and also supporting that momentum. So in that sense, right, if we do see a break to the upside above the 21,700 level and price sustaining or holding above that bullish market structure, and still forming higher lows and higher highs, we could see potential for a further rise, right? And the next level will be the 22,000 level that we've identified on the daily time frame. And of course, if price continues pushing into this level and we're seeing that shift in market structure and the break of last low, and you can see that prices are slowly starting to retreat and forming lower lows and lower highs, this could indicate a slowdown, right? Or a potential shift in its bullish momentum and a deeper retracement. So in that regard, right, if we do have a retracement below the 21,700 level, the first support level for me would be this zone. You can see that this was an area that price consolidated as a resistance and support. We saw that test to the upside before price hesitated over here, right? We're seeing that in the form of small dojis before a strong break to the upside. So what this suggests is that when price does come into this resistance level, we're seeing that area of consolidation, and you are seeing that this sellers, right, selling pressure is low over here, right? And we're just seeing that break to the upside. So for me, this would be the first support level. And of course, beyond that, if we do see a break of this 21,200 level, which lies at about this region. So if price breaks below the 21,200 level, we could see potential for a deeper retracement, right? And that retracement and push towards this area. You can see that this was also an area of consolidation. In fact, an area that price tested as both a support and resistance level, right? So we could see potential for a deeper retracement with the next level at the 20,800 level, this region over here, or rather the 20,700 region, right? So this zone as the next potential support. So these are the key levels for me, right? Currently, at least on the daily and 4 hours time frame, we're still seeing that bullish momentum coming through. We're not seeing any shift of market structure that indicates otherwise. So I do think that if price continues to sustain its bullish momentum, we could see a potential test rise towards the 21,700 level. And if price sustains its bullish momentum above this zone, right, a further rally towards the 22,000 level could occur. Conversely, if we do see a retracement and a close below the EMA 21, right, we could see potential for a deeper retracement to test the 21,200 level as the first support. And if this zone breaks, price could actually potentially retrace deeper with the next support level at 20,700 zone. So this area over here. So with that, that's the outlook I have on USTEC, right? Thank you for joining me. I'm Li Xing Gan, Financial Market Strategist Consultant to Exness.